You don't have to wash the chicken. When I was young, everybody, like my mom, my grandmother, they would, literally it would be like almost putting on a hazmat suit to prepare chicken. Times have changed now. Most information will tell you to not do that. As far as cutting it up, I'm definitely not a pro at that. I do it occasionally, but it's just not a skill that you practice very often unless you're working in a restaurant environment or you're a butcher. You can do this, you can break it down. I encourage you to try it. When you cut your onion, which I'm tearing right now, make sure after you take your skin off, make sure you get rid of everything in the garbage. I like my garbage pail to be right next to me, so I always bring it. I just grab it and wipe everything in. It's so much easier than having like something far away from you where you gotta pull it out. So this is there, doesn't make the kitchen look as good, but it's really, really practical, and I'm all about practical, making things easier for me when I'm in the kitchen. The smaller you cut your potatoes, the quicker they're going to cook. I know that might seem self-explanatory to a lot of you, but I'm sure maybe not for all of you. This chicken, we're roasting it in the oven at 375. It's going to take roughly about an hour to cook, give or take a few minutes. The potatoes, to get them nice and crispy, probably need around that time too. You can do it in 2 different pans. By doing it in 2 different pans, you'll be able to get your potatoes crispier and you'll be able to cook them more to the exact time instead of trying to time both of them. But it's fine either way, it really is. These are Yukon Gold potatoes. They're one of the best potatoes to use for a lot of things. And I ended up using 6 potatoes that are roughly this size, so not a terribly big potato, but use as many as you want. If you want to use a ton, do it. So for this chicken, you want to get it really, really dry before we put it in the olive oil and all that onion and parsley and everything. Paper towel. All right, so that's well seasoned, but don't be afraid to put even more salt and pepper on it. When it comes out, chicken is good to just to salt it again. You need a lot of salt on this. So I know I said it a few times, I'm saying it again. Chicken that doesn't have salt on it is not really good. This chicken doesn't have a lot of flavor. Potatoes and chicken. I put a little bit of the potatoes inside there with the chicken. You really don't want to crowd this stuff. It is a little overcrowded here. By crowding it less, you'll get a better crispiness. So that's why I had to use 2 pans here, maybe even needed something bigger than this. 375 degrees Fahrenheit, middle of the oven. You're roasting the chicken, and I know you think I used a ton of olive oil. Maybe you think I used too much olive oil, but you really want a lot of olive oil in here. What's gonna happen is the chicken's gonna cook. If it's not enough oil there, it's gonna dry out. And you're gonna let it, when it comes out of the oven, you're gonna let it set for like 15 minutes before you eat it. And then you're gonna mix it again with that olive oil and all the juices that came out, and the chicken's gonna be really juicy. It's gonna be really delicious. And it's very easy. You saw how easy this is. So I'm gonna put it in the oven right now. Toss it a couple times, just turn the pieces over. If you want your potatoes crispier, just broil them for the last few minutes. That's what I did with the chicken here. I just turned the broiler on low, kept it not all the way up high, but maybe 5 inches down, and that allowed the chicken to get really crispy. So you have potatoes. You could also take some bread and scoop up all the delicious sauce here. Hope you enjoyed this simple roasted chicken with potatoes. I'll see you next time.